All right, guys. So about a day has passed since one of the big surprises of free agency happened. Demarcus Cousins signs with the Golden State Warriors, and the first reaction everyone had, and rightfully so, is just kind of, oh my goodness, here we go again. The Warriors sign another superstar, and on face value, I kind of agree. But the more I think of that about this move, I kind of feel like this is a really dangerous thing for the Warriors to be doing. So, did anyone really have anyone penciled in as NBA champion other than the Warriors next season? Like, I know that they were really close with Houston, and I honestly believe that if Chris Paul hadn't been hurt, Houston might have taken that series and probably would have. Uh, but they didn't. The Warriors won, and then they went and swept the Cavaliers. And so their biggest competition came from the Western Conference. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. The Warriors were penciled in to win the championship this year, and what they've done is brought in a player that, though he's super talented, gets a lot of stats, points, rebounds, he'll block some shots, he shoots from three, he's a big body, he's a load. Demarcus Cousins can isolate and just bully his way to the rim over anybody. There's no one stronger in the league than Demarcus Cousins. But aside from all that talent, the fact of the matter is that any team that DeMarcus Cousins is on has not made the playoffs. And people will say, well, the New Orleans Pelicans last year. Well, the New Orleans Pelicans got much better after he got off the floor. And I know Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins had started to figure things out, but it took 6-7 years of the Kings never making the playoffs for them to make a trade. And then he goes to the Pelicans. It took them like a year and a half to figure it out. He gets the Achilles injury. They don't make the playoffs. So, number one, you've got a player that, when healthy, has not helped his teams make the playoffs, let alone be a dominant force in the playoffs. Now, they haven't even made the playoffs. Two, he's coming off an Achilles injury, and this is a big deal. So the player I kind of compared to Marcus Cousins to, in some ways, with this injury, is Mehmet Okur. If you remember, Mehmet Okur was a center, 7-foot center for the Utah Jazz. Made at least one all-star game, three-point shooter, could spread the floor, and had a few moves. Not the same talent level as DeMarcus Cousins, but same body size, semi-similar games, but the same injury. Mehmet Okur, when he got the Achilles injury, just never recovered. He came back to the Jazz, was literally traded the season after the injury happened. He went to Brooklyn and he retired. It was over. It was done. And so they're getting DeMarcus Cousins at $5 million, which, might have been the best he can get. I know he said that he didn't get any offers. There's some reports out there that maybe the Pelicans had offered him something like $40 million over 2 years, but when he rejected it, they didn't give it back. I don't know. That's scary because that's an injury that ends people's careers. And when you consider that DeMarcus Cousins has never really been like a fitness guy, like he comes into camp out of shape, and he's going to have to come into camp now with an Achilles injury. Is that going to make it it's going to make it harder to stay in shape rather than easier. And is he going to be able to do that? And the other thing is that he's always been kind of a problem in the locker room. I know that Boogie, outside of his team, does amazing charity work. He does incredible things. He has a huge heart and does great things with charity and for the communities that he's worked in. Awesome. But in the locker room, he's just had problems. And the reason I'm not the biggest fan of this for the Warriors is because you're the team that's going to probably win it anyway. And now you're taking a risk. You're bringing on a player that, it's not just a risk like maybe he'll play bad, maybe he will, maybe he'll be great, maybe not. You're probably going to win whether he plays great or not. But it takes one bad locker room altercation, and let's say something happens with Klay Thompson and he wants to leave next summer. Or let's say something happens in the locker room and chemistry isn't quite there and you get into the playoffs, and then that series with Houston happens again, and this time you don't quite have it as well as you did last year because you're all pissed off at each other from things that are going on in the locker room that no one sees. These are risks, and they're very real. And on top of that, DeMarcus Cousins' style does not really coalesce with what the Warriors do. When you consider that DeMarcus Cousins is a half-court player, he's a back to the basket, he shoots the three. This guy is not a run the floor player. And the Warriors, we all know, are at their best when they're running in transition. We all know that the three-point shooting is a major part of what the Warriors do. But their transition is also that just get so many buckets. They kill you so fast. And it's just not really going to fit with Demarcus. Maybe Demarcus doesn't have to run. Maybe they can just run with the other guys. But I don't know. So just wanted to get my thoughts out on Demarcus Cousins. I feel like, honestly, we all know the talent and the upside, and maybe it like just takes him to another level, and great. But you were going to win anyway. The other thing is that you could really cause some serious problems to your chemistry and play style, and future signings. Like, who knows what's going to happen? This is a big question mark, and I'm not entirely sure why the Warriors are playing with fire like this. You never know. Anyways, guys, that's all I got to say. Like and subscribe to this video. Let me know what you think. Am I wrong? Let me know. I want to hear why, and I'll see if I respond. All right, talk to you later.